Hello everyone, I'm Jinyu. Welcome to Jinyu Talks about spleen and stomach. I remember that when our previous generation met friends, they would greet each other with a few polite phrases, asking, "Have you eaten?" Do you know why such an opening was used? Let me tell you, because in the past, life was not affluent and the economic foundation was not good. People often didn't have enough to eat, so they were hungry. That's why the most concerned topic was, "Have you eaten?" Many answers might be because food was indeed scarce at that time. But now, with the improvement of economic conditions, people's lives have greatly improved, and being full is no longer a problem. But have you noticed that we can eat, but defecation has become a big problem for many friends? You see, we have no problem eating, but the defecation is not smooth, which is also a big problem posed by our turbid and toxic living environment. Today, I want to talk to you about whether you have constipation problems or whether there is any inconvenience when defecating, especially for our elderly friends. I understand that constipation is quite common because feces accumulate in the large intestine for a long time and cannot be expelled. These feces will be reabsorbed by the intestines. So, you see, these toxins and garbage enter the blood circulation, and with the blood circulation, they reach our face, you see. Isn't it that many spots, dull spots, and other problems are generated? So many people with constipation can be seen from their faces, with bruised spots, dullness, and some people with constipation also easily get acne, of course. Here, I want to tell you that you can see from the face that this person's complexion is not good, but if these garbage enter our cerebral blood vessels and cause capillary blockage, think about how serious it is. You see, it's just constipation, and these toxins are reabsorbed and utilized by the intestines. And with the blood circulation, they enter the whole body. So entering the brain will lead to excessive brain garbage. You see, we now have many people with cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, and it can be life-threatening, and it can also trigger what? A heart attack. So don't underestimate the problem of constipation, because once constipation occurs, these toxins accumulate, and many problems are likely to appear, and it will be too late to regret. The feces are repeatedly absorbed and dehydrated, and after drying, these feces will become dry and hard, and then it will have a great impact on our intestinal wall. Everyone knows that once the blood vessels of the intestinal wall are compressed, necrosis is likely to occur, just like rusting. So can our intestines be good? It must be not good. So today, I want to tell you that these problems are not alarmist. The problem of constipation may also be life-threatening. Are there many people now who say that they have bathroom incidents in the bathroom? And is there such a large group of people? Many of us, when constipated, young people say, then eat some bitter and cold rhubarb, and it's solved immediately. But your body is better quickly. But we say that solving defecation, long-term use of these bitter and cold medicines, it is also easy to harm the spleen and stomach. Young people are okay, but for the elderly, it is empty on top of emptiness, so it forms a stubborn constipation, and some people describe the painful feeling as no less than a woman giving birth. What laxatives, enemas, and enemas are all useless, so I want to ask everyone, if you want to solve the problem of constipation from the source, it is not our enema, nor what laxatives, let me tell you, This can only solve the temporary problem, and after 2 days, you can't do it again. These methods make you dependent. To solve the problem of defecation, I tell you, you must know where the root of constipation is. The root of constipation is not in the large intestine. We all know that after food enters the small intestine, it will stay for 8 hours. Within 8 hours, the small intestine will digest and absorb food. And then the dregs will enter the large intestine, which is what we often say feces. Then these constipation problems are actually related to the problems of the large intestine, and the large intestine's ability to push feces is weak, and it can't be pushed out. So the large intestine is a relatively special structure, such as annular muscles. Many people know that this annular muscle is responsible for pushing feces, and only the large intestine has such a structure. It's like squeezing toothpaste when the toothpaste is squeezed out. This annular is equivalent to the outer packaging of the toothpaste. As long as you squeeze the toothpaste right, forcefully squeeze the shell, the inner feces will come out right. The large intestine in the intestine is the same to stimulate the annular muscle. This shell, he can contract himself and squeeze these out bit by bit, thus gradually expelling the feces. It's like the annular muscle has no strength. He can't squeeze it. We often say the peristalsis is slow, that can't squeeze himself. Everyone says that rubbing every day is not useful. Then you have to slowly let himself generate power, right? Just like many people say, can't use strength. In fact, it will appear to be a manifestation of annular muscle aging. The ankle gland muscle does not have enough contractile force, so defecation is weak. We often have the problem of constipation, so many people use enemas senna leaf soaking water to defecate, which is what? This is what will strongly stimulate our large intestine's annular muscle, just like people after eating stimulants in a short time. He has the strength to be born. After this strength, you see he is still trapped. It is a manifestation of weakness. The annular muscle is the same. You stimulate it through enemas senna liquid and force it to defecate smoothly, but it can directly lead to what? The acceleration of aging and death of annular muscle cells. So you use it once, stimulate it a lot, it affects our annular muscle. So I said, many people may understand these enemas senna leaves help us defecate, but it is clearly a helper of constipation. Let our constipation is more and more serious, just like taking drugs. Why is this? You always use it to be useful. Don't use it. It's useless. Isn't it paralyzing the nerves? Is it not saying that the pain will rebound and it will be more serious if you often use these products? The harm to your body is quite big, and it makes you age prematurely. Unless you have no way, you can't always hold it, then you can use some enemas senna leaves. I also suggest you use it, but you can eat and wear, but you can't go on like this for a long time. You might as well find the problem from the source, such as our diet. I often suggest everyone to eat more fruits, vegetables, foods with high dietary fiber content, which can promote defecation. And I also told you, didn't I record a 10-step oxygen pushing method for you? Pushing this is also helpful. Remember, if young people are constipated, you can use some enemas senna leaves no problem, because young people are anti-torture. If we have entered the elderly stage, what should we do? I tell you, It is not suitable to often use bitter and cold medicines. If old friends are always constipated, you should do this, such as eating some foods with dietary fiber. And if there is no change in our constipation within 3 days, then I tell you, stop eating as soon as possible and go to a regular medical institution for examination. Because constipation may be aggravated by what is rich in dietary fiber foods, coarse grains, I tell you, coarse grains are often not easy for us old people to absorb. Young people can increase the stimulation of the annular muscle through coarse grains, so the annular muscle will squeeze hard and feces can be discharged. However, the elderly, because the annular muscle cells are aging and dying, no matter how you stimulate them, they may not be able to use too much strength, which is the annular muscle relaxation, and there is no strength if you always use some coarse grains. Not only will it not improve constipation, but it will also aggravate constipation because coarse grains are not only not easy to absorb and digest, but also easy to accumulate in the large intestine, so it is easy to cause intestinal obstruction. So I tell you, once you can't defecate, if the feces are dry and hard like grass inside, I tell you, it is not easy to digest and absorb, and you have eaten too much dietary fiber. So I hope these old friends have nothing to do, rub their stomachs, eat less and more meals. And you can eat some fruits and vegetables, which is okay, because everyone says that eating coarse grains can improve constipation. Many people have not changed for 7 or 8 days in a row and have induced what happens in the intestines, intestinal obstruction. So for friends with constipation, the simplest and most convenient thing is I will give you a method. You might as well supplement a large amount of special oxygen supercompound bacteria. Supplementing it, in fact, is quite safe. There are no toxic side effects, and it will not hurt our intestines. In addition, you can rub your abdomen. You must rub your abdomen, which is the most suitable for our elderly constipation. Through this method, of course, young people can increase the intestinal flora, supplement a large number of beneficial bacteria, and reduce the use of bitter and cold medicines because probiotics enter the intestines and they change the microecological environment of our intestines, solving the problem of constipation from the source, of course, the balance of the intestinal flora. Probiotics in the intestines can quickly decompose the food residue in the intestines. These food residues become more and more fluffy and soft, so when you defecate, it is not dry and hard. Of course, it will not cause diarrhea, I just said. Why supplement high-activity special oxygen super probiotics? Because super probiotics have a very high activity content. Each road is equivalent to 81 billion active soldiers, and each one is like a joint force to fight. And why say joint combat? You think they are all elite troops. Each one is very excellent after they enter the intestines. They take their respective positions, settle down in different positions in the intestines, and deal with those harmful bacteria. Because the number of troops is large. Remember, our probiotics are powerful, which helps to do what? Win the territory of harmful bacteria. So we call this occupation. At the same time, our probiotics energy is enhanced, and we don't give harmful bacteria a chance to breed, and we attack continuously. In this case, we fully supplement beneficial bacteria. so our intestines are supplemented and balanced, and our immunity is improved, not only solving the problem of constipation, but also enhancing immunity, and people are less likely to get sick. In addition to supplementing probiotics, I teach you the method left by our ancestors, which is to do ginger moxibustion. This ginger moxibustion is very simple and convenient. You just use a piece of ginger, place it on the navel, light our moxa stick, and slowly fumigate the navel eye. It also has a warming and promoting intestinal peristalsis effect, and we can do ginger moxibustion with the navel. And the effect is very good. I tell you how long to use it at a time. Just mock Sebastian for about 20 minutes. This method is both the root and the symptoms to solve the problem of constipation from the source. I hope that elderly friends will supplement more probiotics. Eat more vegetables and fruits appropriately, and often push the 10-step oxygen pushing method to solve the problem from the source, and never underestimate constipation, because the generation of constipation brings you a lot of harm. Not only is there a lot of facial spots, but also too much garbage in the blood circulation, and it makes you unbearable. So every year we can see bathroom incidents, all because of high blood pressure, constipation, and high abdominal pressure. The risk factor will increase. Well, this topic is discussed with you first. Thank you all for watching. I hope you can subscribe to my channel and see you next time.